In this episode, we're going to talk about triggers. What triggers you? I'm going to explain what triggers are and, what we can do to not let triggers send us into a tailspin and relapse.
Welcome back to Broken Bobby's transformation page. In the late 80s, I became involved with drugs and would eventually become part of that lifestyle of trafficking, addiction, and violence. Over the next 20 years, I would be in and out of jail and prison. If you're thinking about trying something or you're dealing with addiction, your life don't need to go down the same path mine did. I hurt a lot of people, both physically and emotionally. These are my stories of how I transformed my life, and you can too. Let's get.
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see by the title and the thumbnail, this is triggers and what we can do to not let them affect us. So, first of all, what is a trigger, right? Um, a lot of things can trigger us. And let me give you guys an example of something that may trigger you. You're a bitch. Now, you may have felt something when I said that, right? I know I definitely would if somebody said that. I'd be triggered. I'd be like ready to fight, basically. You're not going to disrespect me like that and have no consequences. Well, in life, we all have triggers, especially for those of us that are dealing with addiction or alcoholism. And for me, when I went into rehab, I was able to identify some triggers. And I want to say, a lot of times you don't even realize these triggers exist. For me, I had an addiction to meth, but I also had a lifestyle addiction. And what I mean by that is, like, I was addicted to the chaos. I was addicted to being the quote unquote man. I was dealing in moderate quantities. At the time I thought I was Tony Montana or something, but I wasn't. And I recognize that. But a lot of things, as I started moving towards sobriety, I started realizing a lot of things did trigger me. And what some of those things, as examples, music. Music was a major trigger because, at that time, like, I liked the gangster rap and that sort of stuff, and, trying to make a dollar out of 15 cents type of stuff, right? So hearing that, had me thinking, man, I'm a bum over here working this job. Like, I should be hustling. And, that type of stuff. Like, I'm not making money like I should be making. I should be killing it. And here I am punching a clock for somebody else. And that was a major trigger, but the thing is, we have to look at what's important. We'll justify in our addiction that, I'm going to go out here and make this money and I'm going to take care of my family. But, a wise person once told me it's only good for a season. And, like, you'll kill it for a while, but eventually, if you're not using, you're going to end up in jail. You're a very rare exception if you don't. And the other thing is, your addiction is going to grow to such a level that you're not making money anymore. In fact, you're running a deficit, basically, and you're robbing Peter to pay Paul to keep your addiction afloat. So, that's one trigger, one set of triggers, I guess you would say. Uh, now, sometimes if you're in a toxic relationship, that could be another trigger. The thing is, they say you have to do it for yourself. Sobriety comes first for you. If your partner is in addiction as well, then basically, if they decide they're going to relapse, and you're a team, right? So you're going to follow that. So you have to be selfish in your sobriety. And, you know, it may come down to you may not be able to stay with that partner in your sobriety. Sobriety does cause divorces because two people not on the same page anymore. Sometimes you're not the same person when you're sober. So, that could, loved ones, spouses, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever, can be a major trigger. So you have to be selfish in your sobriety. Now, so people's actions can be triggers. What you need to do is you need to take a look at yourself and say what, like you want to get rid of all the reservations, basically, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And what I mean by reservations is if X happens, then I'm going to do Y. And usually what Y is I'm going to go use or I'm going to go drink. So you have to get rid of those reservations. You have to identify those triggers, because those triggers are what's going to cause you to backslide in your sobriety. So what are your triggers? Drop a comment down below and, tell me what you've identified as your triggers. This is a major step in remaining sober. So I'm giving you guys some homework on this one. Do a little self-reflecting and tell me what series of events happens in your life that makes you say, screw it, sobriety isn't worth it, I'm just going to go use. Once we're able to identify these things, then we can put a plan of action into where if this happens, then I'm going to do this. That way I can keep on my path to sobriety. Because ultimately, it's very important. The thing is, if nobody's told you you're worth it, you are. You're definitely worth it. And you will be such a better person in sobriety, in my opinion. The thing is, these chemicals, these narcotics, alcohol, whether you do uppers, downers, whatever it may be, you're not the same person when you're using. So do some self-reflecting and ask yourself, what's going to set me over the edge? What's going to trigger me? What's going to cause me to throw this sobriety away? Or maybe what caused me to throw my sobriety away last time? Because the thing is, a lot of times it takes several attempts at sobriety before you finally do get it right. So let's see if we can identify some triggers. And like I said, this will help you exponentially in your quest to remain sober. For me, it took 3 or 4 times before I finally did get it right. And a prison term and lots of time in the county jail. And it was just, it was a mess. And I was so used to the chaos of addiction that when some tranquility came along and things started to normalize, that seemed weird to me. But it's not, guys. So if you're new to the channel and you enjoy this sort of content, be sure to subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, definitely hit the like button. And definitely drop a comment. Tell me what some of your triggers are. In identifying these triggers, you will continue to build on that strong foundation of sobriety. So, what are your triggers? And what are you doing to be able to maintain when you run across these little road bumps in your path to sobriety? I hope everybody's having a great week. And like I said, if nobody's told you this, you're definitely worth it. It's definitely worth the work that you're going to need to put in to remain sober. So, like I said, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit that like button, drop a comment, let me know what your triggers are and what you're doing. Share the video. It may just save somebody's life. I appreciate everybody's support. You guys rock. Hit that notification bell so that whenever I go live or I drop a new video, you will be informed and you can check it out when you are ready. And become a member of the channel. This is the best way to support Broken Bobby's transformation. I really appreciate everybody. We're coming up on 2,100 subs, and that's all because of you guys. I really appreciate all the support in the comments and everything else. Like, we're growing because of you. So, triggers. That's what we're talking about. Figure out what your triggers are, and you'll be 2 steps ahead in this game of sobriety. I appreciate everybody watching. You got to build a strong foundation around you. That's the most important, one of the most important steps of sobriety. If you hang around a bunch of people that are using, then you're going to use too. It's just a simple fact. And if you're not ready, you're not ready. I get it. You know, I'm not trying to talk down to anybody or anything, because I wasn't ready for a long time. And when I wasn't ready, nobody could have told me nothing otherwise. So I get it. Just be safe out there, guys, and be smart in what you're doing. And don't look at the mountain. Just start climbing.